6:30, Monday, November 21st, 2022. It is time for the Whitko School Board meeting, and we're going to start tonight with the Pledge to the Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no media present tonight. Is that correct, Teresa? Okay. Okay, we're going to start with our Students of the Month from South Willie Elementary, nominated by Sarah Bechtold, Sydney Overmeyer, and Taylor Ford. We have Isla Hines.
Oops, there she is.
So Ayla is one of our, do I need to, right here? Yeah. Can you all hear me? Okay. So Ayla is one of our kindergartners, and I got to know her because her mom is also our school nurse. So after she was done doing, I guess, pretend school at the elementary, she came over to the high school and was doing her real school with a couple other students. So it's been neat to get to know Ayla and see what she's doing. Now I get to see what she's doing in her kindergarten class. So super excited to learn, that learner that we want in our classrooms.
Thank you. Congratulations, Ayla. From Pearson Elementary, we have Evan Clay, nominated by Lexi Rose.
I don't see Evan out here, but I'll brag on him anyway. So this is from Mrs. Rose. It is my pleasure to nominate Evan Clay, assuming he hasn't received this award before. Evan does a fantastic job helping his classmates during the school day as he reminds them of what we learned and how it applies to the new lesson. He loves making connections and leading others to thinking critically about their own learning. He is someone that seeks joy and laughter in his life, and that is what he brings to our classroom.
Thank you. Congratulations to Evan. From the Whitko Career Academy, nominated by Jay Oken, we have Dakota Akers.
I'm sure it's probably in a deer stand somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and read it. Yes. Dakota is always one of the first students to class and shows a genuine interest in learning. He has a desire to learn and improve his skills on a daily basis. Dakota seems to enjoy connecting and applying our laboratory work to his very own experiences and sister projects learning in the class. An example of that is he learned a short time ago to TIG weld with aluminum, and Dakota, next thing you know, he's bringing in boat seats from home, putting those together, fixing them, and then we have a golf cart in the shop right now that Dakota's working on from Sycamore Golf Course. So he's kind of taking what we've done and going to the real world. It's good.
Thank you, Jay. Congratulations to Dakota. From Whitko Junior High, nominated by Mr. Mike Hanback, we have Isla Rose.
Okay, I'm not going to use the microphone. I'm just switching off for Jason here. I could read all the good things about Iowa, but I just want to say a couple things. When you see a student who exhibits initiative and a desire to learn, when you see somebody who has a smile on their face and and you see somebody who comes back to the classroom when they have their own time because they really want to try to get their hot air balloon into the air. That's what learning is all about. And at the junior high level, I'd love to see that kind of initiative. So you are truly an amazing student.
Thank you. Congratulations, Alex. It's from the Whitko Senior High, also nominated by Mr. Mike Handak. We have Ella Thomas.
Okay, quick story with Ella. Ella was actually chosen as a junior high student last year as an 8th grader. Again, I nominated her. And same kind of thing that I was talking about with Ella. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the board meeting, and I heard about it the next day. So, which is probably the reason why I have to be careful in the classroom, because if she does have free time, I have to look around because she may be sneaking up with a meter stick to poke me. But interesting thing that I want to say is when you see a junior high student such as Isla, such as Ella, who excels at learning and the enjoyment of learning, you just know as they move on into high school that it's going to continue. And that's exactly what I've seen with Ella, is that continuous wanting to do it well instead of just getting it done, making sure that if something wasn't quite right, how can I change it to fix it to make it better? And that, again, with so many of the students we have at Whitko Junior Senior High School, you just love to see that as an educator, as an administrator. I mean, that's what we want. That's ultimately that's the goal of what we're trying to do. So, congratulations, Ella.
Congratulations, Ella. Next, we have headliners, which is great news from around the district. And once I finish this, if you want to leave the Students of the Month, you're welcome to do so. So some of the great news we've had around the district from the last month. The Whitko Junior Senior High School student Chloe Bollinger was crowned Miss Three Rivers Festival Outstanding Teen 2023 just a couple weekends ago on November the 6th. Also, Whitko Junior Senior High student Kylie Evans was chosen as Miss Kosciuszko County 2023, so that's pretty cool. Brent Studebaker received his American degree at the 2022 National FFA Convention. Brent was a Star Indiana farmer last year, and he was the 2021 Whitko High School graduate. So congratulations to Brent. And in FFA news, we have a congratulations going out to chapter members for showing at the Southeast Regional Livestock Judging Contest in Abington, Virginia, and their Reserve National Championship title. The team members were Cohen Shipper, Anna Sikafus, Carly Shrove, and Lily Sikafus. In October, this team was 7th overall at the Stockman Livestock Judging Contest. They competed against 42 teams from 12 states in their division at that contest. Also, we have the Area X Crops Contest. Whitko's Red Crop team placed 3rd overall at that contest in Knox, Indiana on November the 11th. The blue team placed 7th out of 10 junior teams, so congratulations to them. And also in FFA news, if you're not aware, we are hosting a Winter Wonderland tree and wreath auction. It's actually tomorrow evening out back in the Academy Ag Barn. Starts at 6 p.m. with a preview, and then the live auction happens at 7 p.m. This event is open to the public, and all proceeds will benefit the Whitko FFA. There's also going to be a cookie, coffee, and hot chocolate bar, so come and enjoy and browse the trees. There's a lot out there, and it's also live on Metzger Auction if you can't make it. We have winter concerts coming up for the choir on Sunday, December the 11th at 2 o'clock. The band concert will be Thursday, December 15th at 6:30. Both take place in the high school auditorium, and they are free and open to the public. And those will be great concerts. I encourage you to attend. Any students of the month that would like to leave, you're welcome to do so at this point. All right, we have have reports. The strategic plan goals committee updates. We have the actual reports from them.
Yes, so we've been, the board knows, in the community, we've been working on our 5-year strategic plan for Whitko Community Schools. We have our 5 strategic goals broken down into 5 committees, and tonight 2 of those 5 are going to do their first round of reports for the board. It's kind of an introduction and a preliminary for what they're looking at and what they're going to be looking at and doing with their committees moving forward. So the
First on the list is Lynn Leininger and Shannon Lane.
yeah, these are the co-chairs tonight. You'll be introducing their committees and what they've done thus far.
Thank you guys very much. We are really focusing on the 4th bullet points for our priority for our 5-year strategic plan, which is update and maintain buildings and grounds to provide a safe and well-maintained teaching and learning environment. So that's really where we're focusing in on. How do we maintain that excellent learning community for our students? Our committee members are myself, Shannon Lane, Pearson Elementary School Principal, Lynn Leininger, Whitko Central Office, Joe Jackson from our maintenance committee, our maintenance team, Chris Neely from the Career Academy, who happens to be an expert in trades and building trades, Jim Bumpaw, former Whitko Operation Director, and then Shelley Montague, who is our central office person as well. And it's really just, our goal statement is really simple: to follow the established Whitko feasibility plan with efficacy. So just being good stewards of our funding as well as our buildings and making sure that we maintain those in a productive way to get as much use out of our facilities as possible.
Yes, as Tim said, this is just kind of introductory. We met one time, kind of put our goal statement together. The goal statement was kind of put together at our admin meeting with Dr. Balch. And at that meeting, I kind of talked to him and it's a committee, and he said that rather than try to create results generated on some other type of mechanism, he said if you have something in place, go ahead and use that and try to drive your results through that. So we were using the feasibility study that's already been given to the board and approved by the board and looked over by the board and created by Whitman's. And it's a 20-year feasibility plan. We're focusing on the 5 years to align with the 5-year strategic plan. These are the various repairs and maintenance needed at the facilities, and they're, just as a reminder, they're broke out into 4 different levels. Level 1 is like immediate need in that year. Level 2 can be maybe deferred maybe 1 to 5 years based on the useful life of that particular item. Level 3 can be extended out to 6 to 10 years, and then level 4 can actually go for past the 20-year plan maybe. So we're going to look at in January and February this feasibility study and see, kind of go through and see what really needs to be done and try to plan for those various expenses. The last slide there kind of talks about factors we're considering with our committee. There again, we're just looking at the initial part of this. We want to come up with actual quantitative numbers for the board to come back in the spring to show you how we're going to be looking at our facilities and grounds. Of course, first of all, to meet the improvements and maintenance as detailed by the feasibility study. But we also want to look at any kind of updating or modernization at the buildings. The first feasibility study is just looking at repairs and upkeeps. But if we have to do any kind of modernization or updates or building projects, we want to take that into account as well. So we got to look at things like the D wing that we're talking about in the future. That would be something outside of feasibility study, but we also want to take that into consideration when we put our goals in place. We also have to take a look at the enrollment figures at each one of the buildings. Since we took the middle school and put the 6th grade out at the elementaries, those elementaries were designed K through 5, so we have a lot more capacity in those buildings that maybe they weren't intended to actually have in the beginning. So we have to constantly look at the high school and the elementaries to make sure that we're having the best learning environment in those buildings for the capacity of kids in those buildings. And then once we identify as a committee the various costs and expenses, we want to then take a look at the funding sources for those. We're going to take a look at the operations fund, the capital expenditures there. If there's any kind of grants on the outside that could help fund our projects and the feasibility study, we want to look at that as well. And then debt service funding finance is an option where if you have a big project, you can get the money up front to cover the expenses, but spread that liability over several years and keep the tax rate at the same rate, not raising taxes. So we want to keep that in mind as well. And then we got to put a timeline in place for these improvements over the 5 years. So we have some work, I guess, ahead. We just want to give you an update where we're at right now, kind of our plans going forward, and we'll probably be coming back with more details in the spring, with the actual figures of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next committee is Chris Benedict and Jason Klein, that are the co-chairs.
Good evening. Again, in the strategic plan, we are focusing on priority 5 that the board recognized, expand and strengthen our extracurricular programs. That's the board's language with that. And then again, at that particular administrative meeting with Dr. Balch, we all kind of, each of our committees kind of broke up with a goal statement for each one of our committees and what we wanted to do. Ours is obviously we want to ensure that we have all students that have equitable and access to a variety of high-quality extracurricular and inclusive opportunities with our extracurricular programs. And as we kind of look at that, our committee members, myself here at the Academy, Jason Klein from the corporation, John Strayer from the high school, Whitko Junior Senior High School, focused on the high school portion of what we're doing. Lauren Cooper, also representing Whitko Junior Senior High School, focusing on the middle school activities that we offer. Hillary Singray from South Whitley Elementary, and Lawson Hahn from Pearston Elementary. And then Don Stone has asked to also be a part of our committee, representing special education for the inclusion for our special needs kids. I know that we probably want to look at adding a parent or a community member to our committee as well to kind of get their feedback and input. But what we wanted to do in our first initial meeting basically was come up with some kind of a mission and a vision of what our committee was going to be about. Our mission that we're kind of looking at is, I think when I read from what the board is saying, they're expand and strengthen our extracurricular programs. So it's kind of twofold for me as I kind of look at that. One, I think you want some form of a developmental structure with our feeder programs, with our younger programs, getting up to where they're going to have some kind of a foundational success year after year to where we know when that's happening, and we're developing those kids that we'll work with Mr. Singray and the athletic department and our coaching staffs to get that portion of it going, as well as with the fine arts, with band and choir as well, FFA, any of those kind of competitive type things that we're going out and competing against other schools. I'm thinking that the board, that's one of the things that you want. We want to expand that. We want to make sure that that's strengthened. We want to make sure that we have a foundation in place where that can be successful year in and year out. And that's what we want to try to develop. And then the second part of that is to make sure that we're guiding our interest of our students with clubs and organizations that meet those future offerings and the needs of all of our students here at Whitko Community Schools. Our vision simply is excellence beyond the classroom. Obviously we want to do everything we can during the school day to provide our students with the best possible education they can get. And then, as you all know, extracurriculars play a big part in that a lot with kids and their development. And we want to make sure outside of that classroom setting, we're also providing that vision with the excellence beyond the classroom. Our goals, again, as we kind of met, are, again, twofold. A little bit, one is that foundational structure with our feeder programs. And when we're going to compete, how do we make some kind of a structure set up to where we can ensure some kind of success year in and year out with each one of those programs? Do we have programs that we're offering now that don't necessarily need to offer because there's no interest in those? Gauge our student interest and see if we need to offer different things. Can we allocate resources differently when it comes to those kind of situations? Those are all kind of things that we'll kind of look into as we kind of go through that. And then number two, Obviously, we want to increase the participation of our students in our extracurricular, co-curricular activities as much as we can, whether that's, multiple sports, whether that's 2 or 3 different groups that kids are in. We want them to be also kind of connected to our school outside of just the school day. Again, our initial plan essentially is, what I've asked everybody in our committee to do is kind of go back to their respective buildings, figure out what we're currently offering, make sure that we have all of that kind of established to where we kind of know exactly what we're offering, what's there, what's allocated resource-wise. And then we want to survey our students and figure out what their participation is, what their interest level is, see if there's something else out there that we need to be offering because our students, it's changed a little bit. Their interest may have changed. Is there something else that we could be offering in terms of a club or an organization or a different sport? One of those kind of things to where it will meet the more needs of our students. And then also develop that list of those possible new offerings. And then the final thing would be just to kind of figure out how we're going to promote, how we're going to market, and how we're going to implement all of this. And again, that's just a brief overview of what we've met with so far, what our goals are, and what our objectives are. I want to, I guess, ask the board, are we on board with what you wanted with that? Okay.
Yes.
That's kind of, I thought it was kind of twofold. Again, just kind of expand and strengthen what we already are offering, and then figure out if there's something else out there that we can also offer. But again, find some kind of a structural foundation that can be implemented at our younger levels to where we're creating that success all the way through. I think that's kind of what our committee's charged with. And again, we're going to survey those students and bring back participation numbers to you, bring back what we currently offer, and see if there's some interest, strong interest from our students of what other kind of things that we can offer, and maybe, if we can reallocate funds. Because I know we still have soccer on the board, and that's part of our extracurricular activity. We haven't had a soccer team in a while. Is that something we want to reallocate those funds to something different, or is soccer something that we want to go, and how do we make that happen? What kind of program can we get going to make sure that those have numbers, to make sure that happens year in, year out? So that's kind of what I think our committee's charged with, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Amen.
Sounds great.
Very good.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? Jason, anything you want to add? All right. We'll follow the technology part. I figured we'd get him to do the technology. I'll be all right.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the principal and director reports. We'll start tonight with Mr. Evans with curriculum and TAP.
Good evening. Thank you again for the time to report out. As you can see by the report, we've had a lot of training going on. We've also ended observation cycle 1 and started observation cycle 2, making sure that all of our teachers are on track with that. We've had a lot of training for our leadership teams, the ILT, the instructional leadership team, and that is going to continue again tomorrow. We actually have a master teachers professional development. It'll be in the tap room tomorrow afternoon, as well as long-range planning with all of the schools so that we can continue to move the training forward, as well as bringing our teachers up to a level beyond what they are now. The last time I reported, I gave some information about the Lexile levels for reading that was done at the junior and senior high. Mrs. Evans has agreed to take that same ILT presentation and give that at both elementary schools. So now we'll be able to get primary all the way up to high school Lexile levels on our students, and then we can use that as a trend to see how we do since the next NWA window opens the middle of December. So most scores aren't going to be back because December 16th is it opens, and then depending on how long it takes, not only to organize that, but also to get the scores back, chase down those students who are absent during that time, since it is cold and flu season. But we will hopefully have the ability to give you a report, if not in December, in January, so we can see those scores climb. I also said the curriculum committee would be meeting, and we actually met November 17th. You can see our members there. One of the things, again, I will tell you, I asked the principals for is a high-quality staff member who is a leader in the building, highly sensitive to reading, since it is our district and our school goals. The purpose of the team is to look at, do we need an adoption for reading, or are we currently using the one that we have to its fullest extent? So we began by developing a rubric so that we can judge our current programs. Each team looked at their own current program that they have in their schools. They also then took our rubric back to their schools, and we'll have other teachers and other grade levels so that we can see across the board what type of quality the program has. From that point, then we will look at that compared to how are we scoring, which unfortunately the report was prior that the reading scores are quite poor. So again, it might be that we do have a high quality program, but it's just not being implemented properly, and we can put some professional development in place to have that happen. In the case that if, as the report comes back from the members of the committee, that the current curriculum that we have does not fulfill the items that we have asked for in our rubric, we will begin to search for other reading programs that are of high quality. Let's see what else we have. Is there going to be a report about Edmonton and Apex?
There will be, but not tonight.
Okay, I'll just skip that over there.
We just don't have all the information in for that yet.
Okay. That's all I have then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Evans.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We have Mr. Hallsoppel from South Willie Elementary.
So I want to highlight a few things that were started as I entered South Whitley. There was a veterans program that you read about that Aaron Collier really worked to organize and get started to honor our veterans. Sources of Strength is something we're using for our students and their life skills across the district, and Nate Wessels took the teachers through that some, and then the teachers also looked at implementing that curriculum and had some plan time for that. Today was our DARE graduation with Officer Clark and our 6th grade teachers, Annie Clark and Gina Vardaman. There were 33 students. We had a demonstration from a canine dog. There were some essays that the students wrote, and the top 2 from each of the classrooms were honored for their work in this drug prevention program. I also wanted to highlight the building maintenance. I had somebody come into the building and notice how clean and how well taken care of our building was, so I thought that was something to note. So Randy Gothrop, Dawn Boggs, and David Geske are the ones that are charged with that. So it really keeps our building looking nice and welcoming for visitors. Some of the things that I'm working on, the last thing, is trying to get into classrooms, offering it for teachers that I would come in and read to get to know their students a little bit, to read a book, to share that experience with the students and the teachers, and then also offering to meet with individual staff members to get to know them both personally and professionally. Again, this is a voluntary thing, but to get to know them and see where we're going. We did have 2 members on the Reading Adoption Committee, Lindsay Smith and Lorraine Kyler represented. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
From the junior senior high, we have Amy Evans.
Thank you. I've been really excited to watch our staff the last few clusters working on data. One, because it's data, and I love that. But to see how they then implement it in the classrooms. And so we've used a lot of our staff who are really strong in reading. Once they looked at the Lexile scores, grouping students, they each chose a student to kind of focus on and adjust their instruction for that one child. And now it's growing into a whole classroom. And then it's growing into a whole unit. And from units it will be implemented. I have just really appreciated how the staff has just grabbed that and I don't even need to be there. They're so immersed in it. So I want to say thank you to my staff, but also the really good things that are happening with the reading comprehension. WCA and the staff at the junior senior high school participated in an ALICE training back on October 31st. We had local law enforcement agencies that was arranged by Mr. Maurer to come in and do the ALICE training. ALICE is a different way to approach an active shooter or negative situation in the school, where it empowers the teachers to make decisions as well as the students. We had a lot of positive feedback from that. We'd like to continue that as our program. Mr. Maurer's worked really hard to work with law enforcement. The one that we had scheduled for Friday, of course, did not happen, but he's rescheduling that. That's going to be more student involved. So we would like to keep doing that because, again, our staff and students say safety is a priority, so we're keeping to emphasize that. One of the things I didn't put in the board report that happened last week, again, Mr. Maurer and Natalie Griffith, one of our MHTs, worked to get a group of students from Manchester College in to talk to our kids and really ask them questions that are hard about tobacco use and drug use. And so from that information, we have learned a lot. And our students, I felt they were really, again, empowered to talk about it and make those changes that we need to make. So I add that into my board report. You guys are always good at doing the positive points. It's my favorite part. I do have a lot. Our robotics team made it to state, one of our teams. It was Team Energize. The other team, Golden Ratio, received a project award. The project award at robotics is every year they have a different project to do and they have to present it. So that award alone was an accomplishment. They will be going down to state on December 10th. The National Honor Society did the run and rake. Again, I was a little bit lazy and brought the leaf blower, which the students immediately took from me and used. But it was just really neat to see the kids. We had a very large turnout for students go around the town and, first of all, taught some of them how to rake. But then they're just so happy and doing it. And Mrs. Leininger and Mr. Handback did a great job organizing that and get, the help that some of our people needed. So that was really neat. Another program I would like to emphasize, Chloe Hathaway's blood drive. By my count, she saved at least 60 lives. It could be more. But when you see a student take that ownership, again, her teachers are doing great, she's doing great, but she also formed a partnership with a different blood bank than what we're used to. And they have started talks with me to give cords at graduation for donating blood. That's something I feel really strongly about, and so hopefully we'll get it for next year, if not this year. I think that is all I have. So I think you covered everything else.
Just want to circle back to the ALICE training. Mr. Maurer is preparing, and Mr. Maurer knows this is not one of these times where I just tell you what we're doing, but he's preparing a presentation upcoming for the board on the ALICE training, exactly how that works and what that looks like. It's of no cost to the district except for supplies. It's excellent training, and our vision on that is to do this district-wide for all of our buildings.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Evans. From the Career Academy, we have Mr. Benedict.
All right, Whitko Career Academy, construction projects, construction trades lab, complete. Again, we get that emergency switch that is on back order until February. We have, Matt Toms has reached out to a number of, to Ryder Electric and to Flowtech to get them going now back on the greenhouse. The greenhouse, Ryder Electric is here this week. They're going to start this week, November 21st. Flowtech was scheduled to start next week, November 28th, but I saw a truck back there today. We're actually working too, so those are in the process. Hopefully that's on the last phase of getting that taken care of, and we can put this greenhouse thing to rest and get our students in there actually utilizing that thing. So excited about that, getting that going and getting that finished up. So WCA was represented at an educational forum hosted by leadership of Whitley County on November 10th at South Whitley Public Library, and it was just about basically sharing our programming, our courses, and our future goals with the group of where we're going educationally. Talked a little bit about the junior, senior high school and the collegiate pathways, and then our pathways out here at the Career Academy and the different offerings that we have. Just basically sharing the education that's going on here in Whitko Community School Corporation. Our machining and welding continue to shine under Jade Hollenball, Chad Noms, and Jay Oken. Those guys do a tremendous job. Those students continue to have hands-on experiences in those lab opportunities, and a lot of those kids, again, businesses are coming in and day out, wanting those kids to start work as quickly as they can. Our 8th grade students participated in a field trip to JA on November 8th to learn more again about career development opportunities. Sandy Benedict, John Irwin, Rebecca Mitchell, Cassandra Penrod, and Emily Murphy all chaperoned that event and took them there. And again, it's trying to get those 8th graders, those younger students, to kind of think of their future and what their future might hold and where it is that they might want to pursue opportunities. Again, as Mr. Evans alluded to, we are done with our cycle 1 with our observations and moving into cycle 2 with our teachers, and continue to meet on Monday mornings in our clusters, and those are going particularly well. Alternative school and Apex, kids again are continuing to work hard. They've got 4 weeks here, about 5 weeks left with semester 1. Many of them are starting to wrap up their courses, and again, it's an excellent opportunity for them to get that credit recovery taken care of as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
From the Special Services Department, we have Allison Kellogg.
Good evening. It sounds a little oxymoronic, but it's been far from quiet in the special education department, but there's not a whole lot to update about. Grant season is slowed down, so there's not much to update there. As far as training, tomorrow begins our 2nd year of trauma-informed CPI training, so that is our safety and how to safely non-restrain and safely restrain our students that are having behavior issues that are putting themselves at risk or other students. And so our 2nd year of training begins tomorrow. I'm recertifying teachers and staff for the next few weeks. And then we've had certain new employees, not every single new employee, but certain new employees will be getting their first time training soon. For staffing, we have a new EL assistant that is going to begin next Monday. So she will be providing services for our English learners at the elementary and junior high school at our South Whitley campus. We have a new resource assistant that's going to be starting at Pearson. We have both virtual SLPs, and they're doing a wonderful job of providing services for our students. They've been up and running, and they're doing fantastic. But I just want to let the board know that I'm still continuing to seek out in-person candidates. That's not something that I'm resting on, because in-person is what is in our students' best interest, so I am still seeking that out. But in the meantime, I am very thankful. Our principals and our staff at our schools, they are going above and beyond to make sure that our sessions are supervised and that our students and SLPs are receiving assistance. So I'm very thankful for that. And just kind of on that note, I'm a very corny person, so Thanksgiving is this week, and so I just want to make sure that I voice my thankfulness for all of our special education staff that work very hard for our students, our administration and our board that support our staff, and I'm just very thankful to be a Wildcat. And I especially want to just give acknowledgement to my assistant, Sally Gilbert. She's had 2 surgeries within the last couple months. She has lost her mother, and she has still been diligently working from home to make sure that our SPED department stays up and running. We have our December 1 count quickly approaching, and she's just working tirelessly to make sure that gets covered. So I just kind of wanted to give a public acknowledgement of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From the Athletics Department, we have Barry Singray.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight to discuss some athletic updates. Starting with facilities, indoor storage areas have been a big focus for us these last couple of weeks, cleaning them out, reorganizing, making sure all these areas are secured, and we've added some new storage cabinets as well. Really just making sure all our programs have all their items in a secure, safe place. Some program updates. Winter sports are underway. Girls basketball just had a very exciting win Saturday night over Southern Wells. Boys basketball had their scrimmage on Saturday. They will have their first game versus Columbia City on Wednesday night, and they will be home Saturday night. So if you have nothing going on with your family over the weekend, come on out and support boys basketball. Wrestling also had their first event over the weekend at the Bluffton Invitational, and junior high boys basketball is underway as well. Junior high girls basketball and wrestling will begin after Christmas break. Some feeder program updates. We have several programs doing some great things with a lot of kids in our area. Boys basketball ran a youth league this past fall, and that's filtered into some travel teams, all 3rd through 6th grade. Dana Day, one of our coaches for junior high boys and girls basketball, has done a great job getting a girls travel program started for us, and she has 4 or 5 teams competing now every Sunday. And then football will be doing a skills camp on Saturdays in December and January. And again, just kind of promoting our keeping things local and affordable for all our Whitko student athletes. Athletic schedules. Winter schedules can be found on the athletic page through EventLink. We continue to try to push that as much as possible. We're also providing hard copies through the athletic office and at the gate at our home events. Some upcoming events. December 3rd will be a big day for Whitko Junior Senior High Athletics. We'll be hosting a junior high basketball tournament starting at 9 a.m. At 1 p.m. we host a boys varsity and JV game at the high school as well, and then there will be a girls varsity game that evening at 6:30. So a big day for athletics from 9 a.m. until 9 o'clock at night. You can come on out and check out some Whitko athletics. Also, I believe the Booster Club will be selling Chick-fil-A sandwiches throughout the day. So come have lunch and check out a wide range of our athletics. Introduction nights this winter, we will be introducing all our youth and travel team athletes for boys and girls basketball. We'll also have introduction nights for our junior high basketball teams and our cheer teams. And then we also have a youth cheer introduction night as well. Booster Club, I would like to thank them for their support again in many ways, but they recently helped us purchase 4 large storage cabinets, and that will go a long ways to helping our coaches make sure their items are secured and maintained well. Moving forward, last meeting in the notes, I had talked about creating a student athletic council, and as I move forward, that's going to be a focus, something where we can start to bring in some of our current athletes and begin molding some of our future athletes as they come up through the middle school, focusing on our athletic culture, leadership skills. We'll be reaching out to other schools, seeing how they organize their program. But these students would meet with me on a monthly basis. We'll begin to discuss those items, but also they'll be included in some IHSAA events. They'll lead their own fundraiser for Special Olympics, and hopefully we can kind of build some new programs that they desire to see in our school as well. So very excited about that moving forward, and that's all the updates I have for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rhonda Snavely, Director of Maintenance and Transportation.
Good evening. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm just finishing up my 3rd week, so I've been concentrating on getting to know who my people are, starting to get a good understanding of what projects that we have going on, and trying to lay them out by building so I can kind of wrap my head around all of it. Transportation going on. We had applied for a grant for an EPA clean school bus program. Those results are in. There were 6 schools chosen, and we were not one of the chosen. We are going to keep our eyes open and kind of maybe talk to some of the school districts that did get that, so to see if maybe that might be in our future, and go from there. Dustin has been working really hard at getting all of our equipment, our snow plows up and ready to go. I'm hoping we don't need them this year, but chances are we will. We have the salt spreader on the truck and ready to go, so I guess if it does come, we're ready. Maintenance-wise, the big project, we're wrapping up the boiler project at South Whitley Elementary. The demolition was done over fall break. Train is hoping to have the controls and the gas line completed this week, so by Friday, they're hoping to be able to fire that up. We're working to get the inventory of all the equipment at all the different buildings, see where everything's at, get them on some kind of a maintenance schedule, and so we can get a replacement plan in place so that we can keep a better eye on all of that stuff as we move forward. Custodians, it's been fun getting to know all the new people. There's a lot of new faces since I was here last. It was nice to hear Mr. Halsapfel recognize some of the custodians. We are still short, but we are working hard to get all those positions filled so that we can maintain our buildings the way they should be.
Thank you. Thank you. And finally, we have Jamie Payno from Little Cats Early Learning.
So I'm very excited about the Launchpad program coming to Whitley County. They have been in Kosciuszko County and now are in Whitley County. And I get to work with both Kosciuszko and Whitley County. So we are going to be making a lot more partnerships with the community, the Whitley community. And I'm very excited about my amazing staff. These ladies are working their tails off, and they are doing such an amazing job. And so I've reached out to some of our parents, and they've agreed to help celebrate these ladies by helping with meals or something like that, just to show our gratitude for their hard work. They amaze me each and every day. So our children this is what the teachers have been working on in the classroom, helping them learn to demonstrate the ability to engage in conversations. Children are demonstrating phonological awareness. They're demonstrating an understanding of written numerals. They are demonstrating self-awareness and confidence, and they are demonstrating self-control. They've been learning about community helpers, and we had Officer Clark come in and teach about his job as a police officer. And he also read the children a Thanksgiving story. So thank you, Officer Clark, for coming in. And we're excited about the holiday season. We have many activities coming up that will help engage the community and families. And again, our teachers are just working hard every day to make the environment safe, inviting, and educational.
Thank you. We have the superintendent update next.
I will wait until item 9.
Okay.
My report out at the end.
All right.
Thank you.
We have no public comments tonight, so we're going to move on to the business reports and consent agenda. We have a list here of work session, regular meeting, minutes, etc., employment actions, and I need a motion to accept the business reports and consent agenda, please.
I move that we approve the business reports and consent agenda items 6.0 and beyond.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the business reports and consent agenda in 6.0. Is there any discussion? And seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And those opposed? The motion passes. In new business, we have the approval of the 2023 and 24 2024 and 25, and 2025 and 26 school calendars. Can I get a motion to approve those calendars, please?
I make a motion, we approve those 3 years of calendars.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the calendars as they are listed. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.2 is the approval of Monday, February 20th, 2023 as a makeup day for the school closing on October 31st. There will be a 2-hour delay on this makeup day as there was supposed to be on October 31st. Can I get a motion to accept that date as a makeup day?
I move that we approve the Monday, February 20, 2023 makeup day.
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept Monday, February 20th, 2023 as a makeup day. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.4 is the approval of the annual field trips along with the one-time field trips. The list is there, which I'm sure you've all read through. Can I get a motion for that, please?
I move we approve the annual field trips.
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the annual field trips as listed and the one-time field trips as listed as well. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. In old business, we have the second and final reading of Neola Policies, Volume 35, Number 1. These policies were given a first reading at our October school board meeting. I need a motion to accept the second and final reading of those policies.
I move we accept the second and final reading of the Neola Policies, Volume 35, Number 1.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the second and final reading of the Neola Policies, Volume 35, Number 1. Is there any discussion? And seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion passes. 9.0 is miscellaneous administrative items with Mr. Pavarnik.
Thank you. I just want to thank the administrative team again for their hard work and their reports. And we truly do work as a team. And I want to welcome Mr. Hosopple to South Whitley Elementary. You've just been, as you know, officially approved as our interim principal there. I want to thank Joel for stepping up and stepping into that role and doing that, I might add, quite seamlessly. Mr. Hosopple comes to us after being here for, this is your second year as a master teacher, and he has over 21 years of teacher experience in the elementary level and is admin licensed. So he doesn't walk into elementary without experience of that curriculum. And so I want to welcome you, Joel. Thank you. And just officially say it's great to have you on board in this capacity. With that, I want to wish everyone, the board, the staff, and the community a very happy, blessed, and safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All right, miscellaneous school board items. We have a work session scheduled for Wednesday, December 14th at 4 p.m. here in the Career Academy tap room. Our next regular board meeting will be Monday, December 19th at 6:30 right here in this lecture room. And we will have the reorganizational meeting Wednesday, January 11th, 2023 at 4 p.m. right here in the lecture room. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn the meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming and happy Thanksgiving.